Good evening and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Business. It's August, and for August, what we're going to do is going back to basics pretty much. We're going to bring back the roadmap and we're going to talk about how to start a business, the resources in starting a business. I do want to thank Erica Aviles, who was my guest last week. Great insights in talking about customer service. Great feedback on that from a few people, in fact. Tonight, we have another special guest, a good friend of mine, that will give us an idea behind the making of the roadmap and how it affects our Nevada business ecosystem. But of course, let's start talking about why small businesses is so important to our community. As of May 22nd, there are over 300,000 small businesses in Nevada, and more than 480,000 Nevadans are employed by these businesses, which represent more than 40% of our workforce. At Lincoln County, for example, nearly every worker in that county is employed by a small business. I think it's truly safe to say that small businesses are truly the backbone of our economy. So, what constitutes a small business? According to SBA, they must be for a for-profit business of any legal structure, be independently owned and operated, not be nationally dominant in its field, be physically located and operate in the US or its territories. As for the number of employees, and I know I've shown frustration in this in the past because there's so many different definitions 1,500, 150, 500 and below. It truly depends on industry standard. So for you to find out, you can look up in the SBA website what your industry standard is, and I would give you a good number of what is considered small business, what number of employees. Now, there are several organizations that support small business. The state, of course, county, and the city have all have business agencies. We have state agencies such as the Department of Business and Industry, who is my guest tonight, GOED, the Governor's Economic Development Team, the OSBA office, SBDC, SBA. We have economic development, and that's just to name a few. So please forgive me if I didn't mention you. There's more. I just want to give a few examples. There's economic development organizations such as LVGEA or EDON. You have the chambers support small businesses. There are advocacy organizations such as NABO, the minority contractors, and then you also have incubators as well. These were all created with one thing in mind, to help ensure the success and growth of small business. We're going to keep my monologue short tonight because I really want to have more time to converse with our guests. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring somebody in who has truly dedicated himself in helping small business. We'll be right back. Welcome back. One of the most important resources for small business owners or aspiring business owners is a guide on how to start or how to grow your business. Our guest tonight is the creator of the Nevada Roadmap to our business ecosystem. Please welcome my friend Marcel Schaerer, Deputy Director for Nevada Business and Industry. Good evening, Marcel. How are you?
Oh, good evening, Sonny. Oh, my pleasure. Good to see you. It's always just such a great pleasure to interact with you. So great to be here.
You. Well, for the audience, please tell us what is the mission of the Department of Business and Industry and what agencies fall under it? Because I know there's a lot in your fall under BI.
Well, just to answer that question, I think it's just to remember, Sonny, that the vision is, or the mission is to encourage and promote the development and growth of businesses in Nevada and to ensure the legal operation. Therefore, we are sort of this umbrella that basically maintain a fair and competitive regulatory environment for the state. And we have 11 divisions under not Go Ed, but Business and Industry, Sonny. And we divide them into different categories. For example, under Advocacy and Advancement, we have the Nevada Consumer Affairs, the Commission of Minority Affairs, the Office of Advancement. Under Protection of Labor and Workforce, we have the Office of Labor Commissioner, what we know as the Division of Industrial Relations, Nevada Attorney for Injured Workers. Another category or area of that regulatory umbrella, Sonny, is Capital, Commerce, and Transportation. And therefore, we have the Real Estate Division there, Financial Institutions Division, Division of Insurance, Mortgage Lending. I know it's a whole lot, but again, it's 11 division. And then Community Development and Small Business, again, is the Nevada Housing Division, providing help to many people when it comes to affordable housing, and the Office of Business Finance and Planning. So those are the agencies and units under this big umbrella.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like I said,
That's a lot, I know. But just remember, it's a regulatory umbrella, but basically is to encourage and promote the development and growth of businesses in Nevada.
Perfect. This is going to be a vague question, Marcel, so it's up to you how to best answer it. How does the Department of Business and Industry support small business in the whole state, and what type of resources and programs you do to help small businesses?
Well, I think to answer, it's a big question. But
Yes.
you were saying, we have this, what we call the support ecosystem in place. And therefore that business support ecosystem is comprised of many, many organizations. We basically support small businesses in the state by pointing to all of these resources. And that under what you just mentioned also, this small business ecosystem. And therefore we created this wonderful tool called the roadmap. And you also mentioned that, which is basically a guide to starting and growing a business in Nevada.
You had a vision and you created this roadmap that we've talked about. What inspired you to do this? What made you think, oh, this is needed, you know?
Well, over the years, and sort of a short story here is that I grew up, Sonny, seeing both of my parents, my mother and my father, prosper as a small business owners. I was exposed to the family business through my childhood. And I saw my mom, a mother of 4 children, working in her party rental business every single day, Monday through Sunday. I also I saw my father connecting and gaining the experience and seeing how he deal with different customers in a bakery business. Therefore, I gained invaluable practical exposure to business operations, as well as learning the importance of hard work, consistency, and being reliable. As an adult, I followed my parents' footsteps and founded a workforce consultant and training firm with my wife, Sylvia, in 1996, Sonny. Still we're in business. But my point here that the small business is in my blood and it continues to play a significant role. Therefore, for a number of years, being in that space, I have always heard the roadmap, and typically will be the traditional list of organizations. And therefore, there is where the idea came. It wasn't just pointing to the beautiful places of Nevada and just taking a picture of the road. But if I was basically the sort of this creator, basically the designer, the individual who put it together was Chris Wise, and you know him out of our office, Sonny.
Yeah.
And he was able to articulate this wonderful tool that you can see it, because I'm sure it's going to be displayed on this platform. It is basically a simple PDF file that you can click. It resembles a smartphone. You can go in and out, click on different areas, and that basically becomes sort of your roadmap to succeed if you want to start, if you want to run, if you want to basically grow a business. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful tool pulling together, Sonny, all these resources throughout the state. And we were able to do that. And as you can see, the roadmap also displays some of the main roads in Nevada, from I-15 to I-80 to 50 and so forth. So we're happy that this ecosystem captures basically over 300 organizations throughout the state.
I know. I'm sure you'll be happy to hear this. From time to time, we go through your roadmap in this radio show, and we go through its content one by one, because you're 100% right. It's truly helpful. And I always tell aspiring business owners or business owners, even if you're going to hire somebody to do it for you, having a guide that tells you the steps will at least let you know that they're doing the right thing for you, right?
Exactly, and the resources, Sonny, the people with the technical expertise and then with the heart,
Yeah,
to help you. So for a lot of us, willing to hold hands and be able to just accept guidance. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful tool, not only visually, but behind the scenes, this network of business partners who really are there to help you succeed and grow.
yes, thank you. This is another big question, Marcel, but
Yes.
what are the current challenges you see that small businesses are facing in our state?
Well, that's a big one, but I think we can start with the finding employees. The labor shortage is big, I think, at all levels. I don't
Yep.
care what industry we're talking about, Sonny, but that is a big one right there. Another one, of course, is funding. How do I access money, capital, or grants that can continue to fuel some of the current challenges in terms of operations? Another one that comes to mind that we hear from the small businesses is also supply chain challenges
Oh yeah.
at the present time, as you know. And another one is operations, internal operations, how to control your cash flow, your inventory. Those are some of the things that come to mind when it comes to some of the ongoing challenges, navigating the unsettling conditions of this post-pandemic that doesn't seem to go away.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mentioned to you earlier that I just came back from Reno, and almost all the different businesses that we dealt with there, shortage, yeah, shortage in
Exactly.
workers. Yeah. So that's why everything's delayed. Marcel, how can we ensure that small businesses can access the resources it needs to help them be successful and grow?
I think it's one way to do that is through remarkable collaboration among business partners, and basically provide that information every time that we have an opportunity to showcase that there are resources, help out there. And when I say help, is technical expertise.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it is our resource partners getting into different communities and disseminating that information with the understanding, Sonny, that as you and I have talked about very often, there is still a lot of ignorance out there, especially with micro businesses. And you have mentioned, of course, what exactly is a small business. One area, uh, just for the sake of it, that we point among these 300,000 small businesses throughout the state is a category of 1 to 19 employees.
Yeah.
And if you take that category, Sonny, that is about 18%. We're talking about anywhere in between, I will say by now, 45,000 to 50,000 small businesses, and they need help. So we need to ensure that they are receiving the information and they have access to those resources. And access to those resources is also to do it in their own languages. We live in a very, very diverse market here and economy in Nevada. And the language of commerce may not necessarily be spoken by everyone. So I think access to information in their own languages are also key.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's one of our biggest challenges in the API community. So,
Yes, exactly.
so tell me, Marcel, what are some of the future plans or projects that business and industry is working to do to help small businesses?
Well, and building on that last thought, Sonny, is this language component. You and I, the Office of the Small Business Advocacy, as well as GoEd and our office, are working to basically promote this idea for resource partners to consider adding a select language tool to the website. And a good example is, for example, the Asian Chamber of Commerce, which, as you know, Sonny, they incorporated a language tool. They also have provided a roadmap in different languages, including Chinese, Korean, and Tagalog, which I think is key. So those are some of the components. So one of the initiatives is that particular campaign to continue to work with resource partners for them to embrace this idea of adding a select language tool to their websites. The other one, Sonny, is also that dear to our hearts. When I say that is because of your office and mine are working on this whole idea of a resource fair.
Yeah.
So we successfully framed the big one back in May during National Small Business Week under this umbrella of the Nevada Small Business Resource Fair. And in whatever shape or form, that also becomes an initiative for different organizations. And we're going to continue with this idea of resource fairs in many different ways. It could be a micro business resource fair. We are partnering with the Latin Chamber of Commerce to do an activity at El Mercado, which will be a micro business resource fair. We are also going to do that in January of next year with the Asian Chamber of Commerce. We are planning to do another one with the Urban Chamber during Black History Month in February. So that is another initiative, and it grows organically, Sonny. Your group is organizing one up in Reno in August.
Yeah.
And I think with the idea that small businesses need help in all areas. I don't care if it is financing, they need help with operations, they need help with funding, they need help with people, they need help with software.
Yeah, I agree.
And fortunately, I might add that they are not alone. That's why there is this network of resource partners providing the support that they need.
Marcel, you're so right. And I always tell them there are resources out there. You have to find it. You have to help, you have to use it. In fact,
Exactly.
not just find it, but you actually use it also.
Exactly.
So tell me, what would be your best advice for a small business owner or an aspiring business owner?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think there is always this tenacity and resilience to make dreams a reality, Sonny. The passion and confidence to build something great. And yeah, and also access to resources, because we continue to keep open minds, working hands, and caring hearts. But more specifically, Sonny, I will have to point perhaps to also uh, tools that can help small businesses. And when I say tools, is for example, the business model canvas, this one-page visual to basically capture what you want to do in terms of a value proposition with your business, or what we call as a SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Sometimes we know of those tools in management, Sonny, but I don't think we use it effectively. And in reality, every single conversation, Sonny, if you think about it, we're always talking about either strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats. But I don't think we use those quadrants to document in writing some of those things. We do it verbally, and that is great. But I think the beauty, the magic is when it's captured on paper and in writing. So I think that will be, hopefully that is helpful in terms of answering that question. What is the best advice? Use some specific tools that are out there. And I'm not referring to quantity, but just quality of information. So I often use those tools of a business model canvas and a SWOT analysis on an ongoing basis.
Very good. Unfortunately, it's only a 30-minute show, Marcel, but we'd love to have you back. We want to talk about the different aspects of the roadmap, more on the collaboration, of course, especially on how Department of Business and Industry, GOED, and OSBA work together. So if you don't mind, we'll definitely ask you to come back next time. All right.
Absolutely. Music to my ears anytime.
All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. Marcel, thank you so much for coming on the show. I truly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for the invitation.
All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.